You're waiting for someone to hand you respect, aren't you? Nodding along, swallowing your words, letting people walk all over you because you're scared of making waves. Stop it. Right now. Respect isn't something you beg for, it's something you take by owning your power. Try this once, stand up, speak up, and watch how they start respecting you. Raise your hand if you've ever felt invisible in a room full of people. Come on, be honest. Hands up. Yeah, I see you. That feeling of being overlooked, dismissed, like your doesn't matter, it's not because you're not good enough. It's because you're acting like you don't belong. You're shrinking, waiting for permission to exist. But here's the truth. Nobody's going to hand you a golden ticket to be seen. You've got to claim it. One bold move, one moment where you say, I'm here and I'm not backing down. That's where respect starts. Think about Sarah. She was a mid-level manager stuck in a cycle of being ignored. Meetings were her nightmare. Her ideas brushed off, drowned out by louder egos. She'd go home, replay every moment, and beat herself up for staying quiet. Sound familiar? One day she hit her limit. In a heated team discussion, she didn't wait for an opening. She leaned forward, looked her boss dead in the eye, and said, I have a solution, and I need 2 minutes to lay it out. The room went silent. Her heart was pounding, but she kept going, clear, confident, no apologies. She laid out her plan, and you know what? Her boss nodded. Her colleagues listened. For the first time, they saw her. One moment changed everything. That's the power you're sitting on right now. Why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you walking into that conversation, that meeting, that moment, and claiming what's yours? Because you're scared. Scared they'll laugh. Scared they'll push back. Scared you'll look foolish. Let me tell you something. Fear is a liar. It's been lying to you your whole life, telling you to stay small, to wait your turn. But your turn isn't coming unless you take it. Respect starts the second you decide you're done waiting. But it's not just about saying no. It's about how you show up. Think about someone you respect. What do? They stand tall. They look you in the eye. They don't fidget or mumble or rush through their words like they're apologizing for existing. Try this once. Walk into a room like you own it. Shoulders back, chin up, eyes forward. Let the silence hang for a beat. It's uncomfortable, isn't it? Good. That discomfort is where respect is born. People don't respect the person who's always rushing to please. They respect the one who's deliberate, who knows their worth. Let's talk about boundaries. You don't have them, do you? You let people interrupt you, overstep, take credit for your work. You smile and take it because you think that's what nice people do. Nice is overrated. Nice gets you ignored. Try this once. Set a boundary and stick to it. Next time someone cuts you off in a conversation, don't let it slide. Hold up a hand. Yes, physically hold it up, and say, I wasn't finished. Then keep talking. Don't laugh it off. Don't soften it. Watch their reaction. They might squirm. They might push back, but they'll respect you for it, because you've just shown them you're not invisible. Who's with me on this? Raise your hand if you've let someone interrupt you one too many times. Come on, hands up. All right, you know that feeling. The frustration, the resentment. Why do you keep letting it happen? Because you're worried about being rude. Let me be blunt. Not everyone will like you, and that's okay. Respect isn't about being liked. It's about being seen. You're not here to win a popularity contest. You're here to live a life where you're not constantly swallowing your... The people who matter will respect you more when you stop bending over backward to please them. The ones who don't, they were never worth your time. Here's another story. James, a quiet guy in his 20s, worked at a startup where everyone treated him like the office errand boy. Fetch coffee, fix the printer, stay late to clean up someone else's mess. He was miserable, but too afraid to speak up. One day he overheard his boss dismiss his contribution in front of the team. Something snapped. The next morning, he walked into his boss's office, closed the door, and said, I need to talk about my role here. I'm not your assistant. I'm a developer, and I'm ready to take on bigger projects. But he didn't back down. His boss was stunned. Within a week, James was assigned to a high-profile project. Why? Because he stopped waiting for someone to hand him respect and demanded it instead. You're James. You're Sarah. You're the person who's been waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity to be who you're meant to be. Stop waiting. The moment is now. Try this once. Do one thing today that scares you. Speak up in that meeting. Tell your friend they've been crossing a line. Walk away from a conversation that's draining you. One action, one choice, one moment. That's all it takes to shift how people see you. Let's make this real. Grab a piece of paper or your phone, whatever's in front of you. Write down one situation where you feel disrespected. Maybe it's your coworker who talks over you, your partner who dismisses your opinion, or even a stranger who cuts you off in line. Now, write down one thing you're going to do about it. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today, maybe it's saying, I'm speaking. Please wait. Maybe it's walking away from a toxic dynamic. Whatever it is, make it specific. Then, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, commit to doing it. No overthinking, no excuses. Just do it. Why does this work? Because respect isn't something you earn over years. It's something you claim in moments. Every time you choose yourself, you're teaching others how to treat you. You're rewriting the rules of every relationship in your life. And the best part, it's not just about them. It's about you. The confidence you feel when you stand up for yourself, the power that surges through you when you stop apologizing for existing, that's the real prize. They'll respect you, sure, but you'll respect yourself more, and that's what changes everything. But let's be real. Taking that first step is terrifying. Your brain's screaming, what if I mess up? What if they hate me? Let me tell you about Maria. She was a single mom, working retail, constantly disrespected by her manager. He'd snap at her in front of customers, dismiss her suggestions, treat her like she was disposable. One day, she was done. During a busy shift, he barked at her to redo a display she'd spent hours on. Instead of nodding and scurrying away, she stood her ground. I need to understand why this needs to change, she said. I put a lot of thought into it. Her manager blinked, caught off guard. He mumbled something about efficiency, but from that day on, he stopped snapping at her. One moment of courage, and the dynamic shifted. Maria didn't just gain her manager's respect, she gained her own. What's stopping you from being Maria? Raise your hand if you've ever held back, because you didn't want to cause a scene. Come on, hands up. All right, I see you. That fear of conflict is holding you hostage. But here's the thing. Conflict doesn't destroy respect, it creates it. When you stand up for yourself, you're not starting a fight. You're starting a conversation. You're saying, I matter, and people respond to that. They might not love it in the moment, but they'll respect it. Because strength respects strength. Here's another tool for you. Try this once. Use your voice like it's a weapon. Not shouting, not arguing, just clear, calm, and unshakable. Next time you're in a situation where you're being overlooked, slow down, speak lower, not louder. Enunciate every word. It's like dropping a stone into a still pond. The ripples get everyone's attention. I saw this with Alex, a freelancer who was constantly lowballed by clients. One day, he got a ridiculous offer for a project. Instead of accepting it or arguing, he leaned back, looked the client in the eye, and said, that's not a number that reflects the value I bring. Here's what I charge. Slow, deliberate, no room for debate. The client didn't just agree, they apologized. One sentence, delivered with conviction, changed the game. You've got that same power. You don't need a fancy title, a corner office, or a megaphone. You just need to decide you're done being invisible. Try this once. Practice that voice in the mirror tonight. Say something you've been holding back. I deserve better. My time is valuable. I'm not okay with this. Say it until it feels natural. Then take it into the world. Use it on that coworker, that family member, that stranger who's been pushing your buttons. Watch how they react. They'll see you differently because you're seeing yourself differently. But here's where it gets tricky. You might try this once and feel amazing. Then tomorrow you slip back into old habits. You let someone interrupt you. You take on too much. You shrink again. That's normal. Change isn't a straight line. It's a fight. But every time you choose to own your power, you're building a muscle. And that muscle gets stronger with every rep. So let's commit to 1 rep today. Who's in? Raise your hand if you're ready to do one thing. One small scary thing, to demand respect. Come on, hands up. All right. I love that energy. Hold on to it. Let's talk about the stakes. Why does this matter? Because every time you let someone disrespect you, you're not just losing their respect, you're losing a piece of yourself. You're telling yourself your voice doesn't matter. Your needs don't matter. And that's a lie. You matter. Your ideas, your time, your presence, they're worth fighting for. Try this once, and you're not just changing how others see you, you're changing how you see yourself. You're stepping into a version of you that's been waiting to break free. Here's another story. Lisa, a teacher, was constantly undermined by her students' parents. They'd question her methods, demand special treatment, treat her like she was beneath them. She'd smile, nod, try to keep the peace. But it was eating her alive. One day, a parent stormed into her classroom, yelling about their kid's grade. Lisa didn't cower. She stood up, looked them in the eye, and said, "I'm happy to discuss this, but not like this. Let's set a meeting and talk respectfully." Was calm but firm. The parent backed down. They met later, and the conversation was night and day. Lisa didn't just gain their respect, she gained her own confidence back. One moment, one choice, one stand. What's your moment going to be? Raise your hand if you can think of one situation right now where you need to take a stand. Come on, hands up. All right, you've got it in your head. Now let's make it happen. Write it down. Yes, right now. Grab your phone, a napkin, whatever. Write down the situation and the one thing you're going to do. Maybe it's telling your boss, "I need credit for my work." Maybe it's telling your friend, "You can't keep canceling on me." Whatever it is, make it clear. Then, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, commit to doing it. No excuses, no overthinking, just action. This isn't about being perfect. You might stumble, your voice might shake, you might feel awkward. Respect isn't about flawless execution, it's about showing up. Every time you show up for yourself, you're rewriting the story of your life. You're telling the world and yourself that you're not here to be ignored. You're here to be seen, to be heard, to be respected. But let's talk about the flip side. What happens if you don't do this? If you keep waiting, keep shrinking, keep letting people walk over you, you'll wake up one day and realize you've spent your life apologizing for existing. You'll look back and see all the moments you could have spoken up, could have stood tall, could have owned your power, and didn't. Don't let that be your story. Try this once today and watch how everything changes. Here's one more tool to lock this in. Try this once, create a power phrase. Something short, something that fires you up. Mine's "I'm enough." What's yours? Raise your hand if you've got one in mind. Come on, hands up. All right, say it to yourself right now. I'm worth it. I'm not invisible. I've got this. Say it like you mean it. Now carry that phrase with you. Use it before you walk into that tough conversation, that big meeting, that moment where you're tempted to shrink. Let it remind you who you are. You're not here to play small. You're not here to wait for permission. You're here to take up space, to speak your truth, to demand the respect you deserve. Try this once, one bold, scary, beautiful move, and watch how they start respecting you. Watch how you start respecting yourself. And when you do, you'll realize something powerful. The only person who was ever holding you back was you. So what's it going to be? Are you going to keep waiting? Or are you going to step up right now and own your power? The choice is yours. Make it count. You've started owning your power, claiming your space, saying no, standing tall. But here's the thing. One moment of courage isn't enough. You've got to show up unapologetically, not just once, but as the real you, every single time. There's one move that changes everything. One bold, raw, fearless act of being yourself. Try this once and watch how they start respecting you. Not because you're perfect, but because you're real. Raise your hand if you've ever held back who you really are to fit in. Come on, hands up. Yeah, I see you. You've dimmed your light, softened your edges, played small to make others comfortable. Why? Because you're afraid if you show the real you, the loud, messy, opinionated, passionate you, they'll judge you, reject you, laugh at you. Let me tell you something. The only thing you're losing by hiding is respect. People don't respect a mask. They respect someone who's unafraid to be seen, flaws and all. That's the move that flips everything. Showing up as you. No apologies. Think about Marcus. He was a graphic designer, always the quiet guy in the back of the room. His colleagues loved his work but barely noticed him. He'd nod along, agree with everyone. Never rock the boat. But inside, he was bursting with ideas, bold, creative, risky ones. One day, during a client pitch, his team was bombing. The safe, boring ideas they'd chosen were falling flat. Marcus felt that fire in his chest. He could have stayed quiet like always. Instead, he stood up, heart racing, and said, "I have a different approach. It's unconventional, but I think it's what the client needs." He laid out his vision, vibrant, daring, completely him. The room was stunned. The client loved it. Overnight, Marcus went from invisible to indispensable. Why? Because he showed up unapologetically. One move, one moment of being real, changed how everyone saw him. What's stopping you from doing that? Why are you still hiding the parts of you that make you you? Raise your hand if you've ever thought, if they knew the real me, they wouldn't like me. Come on, hands up. All right, you're not alone. But here's the truth. The real you is your power. Not the polished, people-pleasing version. The one who laughs too loud, who has big dreams, who gets fired up about what matters. That's who commands respect. Try this once, show up as that person, just for one moment, and watch what happens. Here's how you do it. Pick one situation today where you'd normally shrink. Maybe it's a meeting where you'd stay quiet, a family dinner where you'd bite your tongue, or a conversation where you'd agree just to keep the peace. This time, don't. Speak your truth, share your idea, say what you really think. Do it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No overthinking, no second guessing. Just you, raw and real. It's not about being loud or aggressive, it's about being honest. That's the move that changes everything. But let's break it down. Because I know it's scary. Your brain's screaming, what if I say the wrong thing? What if I look stupid? That's just fear trying to keep you small. Here's a story to prove it. Emily was a nurse, always the nice one at work. She'd take extra shifts, cover for everyone, never complain. But she had opinions, strong ones about how her unit could run better. She kept them to herself, afraid of seeming pushy. One day, during a staff meeting, her manager asked for feedback. Emily felt that familiar urge to stay silent, but something clicked. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, she raised her hand and said, "Our scheduling system's broken, and I have a fix." Her voice shook, but she laid out her plan, clear, practical, straight from her gut. Her manager didn't just listen, she implemented it. Emily wasn't just nice anymore, she was respected. One moment of showing up, no filter, changed her entire reputation. You've got that same moment waiting for you. Try this once, say the thing you've been holding back. That idea in your head, that opinion you're scared to share, that truth you've buried, to keep everyone happy. Let it out, doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be polished, just real. People don't respect perfection, they respect courage. And courage looks like you, standing in your truth, no apologies. But it's not just about words, it's about how you carry yourself. When you show up unapologetically, your whole presence shifts. Think about someone you admire. They don't slouch, do they? They don't avoid eye contact or laugh nervously to fill the silence. They own their space. Try this once, stand like you mean it. Next time you're in a room where you'd normally fade into the background, plant your feet, look people in the eye, let your voice carry. It's like flipping a switch. Suddenly you're not just there, you're undeniable. Let's talk about why this works. When you show up as yourself, you're not just asking for respect, you're demanding it. You're saying, "This is who I am, and I'm not changing to make you comfortable." That's magnetic. People might not agree with you, they might not even like you, but they'll respect you. Because authenticity is rare. In a world full of people trying to fit in, the person who stands out, flaws, quirks, and all, is the one who gets noticed. Here quote. Say another example. Tara was a stay-at-home mom, always putting her family's needs first. At parent-teacher conferences, she'd nod along, even when she disagreed with the teacher's approach. But her son was struggling, and she knew why. One day she'd had enough. At the next meeting, instead of staying quiet, she said, "I know my son, and this plan isn't working for him. Here's what I think we should try." She didn't sugarcoat it, didn't apologize. The teacher was taken aback, but listened. They worked out a new plan together. Tara wasn't just mom anymore, she was a force. One moment of being unapologetically herself, and the dynamic shifted. Who's ready to make that move? Raise your hand if you've got a situation in mind where you could show up as the real you. Come on, hands up. All right, I love that energy. Hold on to it. Let's make it concrete. Grab your phone or a piece of paper. Yes, right now. Write down one place where you've been holding back. Maybe it's work, where you're scared to share your ideas. Maybe it's home, where you're avoiding a tough conversation. Now, write down one thing you're going to say or do to show up unapologetically. Maybe it's, I have an idea and I want to share it. Maybe it's, this isn't okay with me and we need to talk. Make it specific. Then, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, commit to doing it today. No excuses, just action. But let's be honest, this isn't easy. Showing up unapologetically means facing judgment, and judgment stings. Your brain's going to try to talk you out of it, whispering, they'll think you're too much. Let me tell you about Raj. He was a college student, always the good kid who never made waves. But in his debate club, he had bold opinions he never shared, afraid of sounding controversial. One day, during a heated discussion, he felt that fire in his gut. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, he stood up and said, I completely disagree, and here's why. He laid out his argument, passionate, unfiltered, a little messy. Some people pushed back, but others nodded. His coach pulled him aside after and said, that's the leader I've been waiting to see. One moment of being real, and Raj wasn't just another kid in the club, he was a voice. What's your voice? Raise your hand if you've been silencing yourself because you're scared of being too much. Come on, hands up. All right, you know that feeling, the knot in your stomach, the weight of holding back. Why do you keep doing it? Because you think playing small keeps you safe? It doesn't. It just keeps you stuck. Try this once, let yourself be too much. Laugh too loud. Share that crazy idea. Wear that outfit you love but think is too bold. Whatever it is, do it. Watch how people react. They won't all love it, but they'll respect it. Because being unapologetically you is a signal to the world. I'm here and I'm not going anywhere. Here's a tool to make this stick. Try this once, create a truth trigger. It's a phrase or action that reminds you to be real. Mine's snapping my fingers. It's like a wake-up call to stop hiding. What's yours? Maybe it's touching your wrist, taking a deep breath, or saying, this is me. Raise your hand if you've got one in mind. Come on, hands up. All right, practice it right now. Say your phrase, do your action. Feel it ground you. Now, take it into that moment where you'd normally shrink. Use it to snap yourself out of fear and into your truth. But let's talk about the pushback. Because when you show up unapologetically, not everyone's going to clap. Some people will feel threatened. They're used to you playing small and your boldness shakes their world. That's okay. Respect isn't about making everyone happy. It's about making yourself undeniable. Here's how you handle it. When someone pushes back, maybe they roll their eyes. Maybe they challenge you, don't shrink. Stand your ground. Look them in the eye and say, I hear you, but this is my perspective. Calm, clear, no apologies. You're not fighting, you're standing. And standing commands respect. Let's go back to Emily the nurse. After she spoke up in that meeting, some colleagues grumbled. They liked nice Emily, not this bold new version. One even said, who do you think you are? Emily didn't back down. She looked at them and said, I'm someone who cares about this team, and I'm not afraid to say it. No drama, just truth. Those colleagues didn't become her best friends, but they stopped questioning her. Why? Because she was unapologetic. She didn't need their approval, she had her own. You don't need approval either. Try this once, stop seeking validation. Next time you're tempted to ask, is this okay? Or what do you think? Don't. Trust yourself. Say what you mean, do what feels right, and let the chips fall. People respect someone who doesn't need a pat on the head to keep going. And the more you trust yourself, the more they'll trust you. Here's one more story to drive this home. Javier was a bartender, always charming, always accommodating, but he had a side hustle, writing poetry. He never shared it, afraid his coworkers would laugh. One night, his bar hosted an open mic. He felt that pull to sign up but almost chickened out. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, he put his name on the list. When his turn came, he read a poem, raw, personal, straight from his soul. The room went quiet, then erupted in applause. His coworkers, who'd always seen him as just the bartender, started treating him differently. They asked about his writing, listened when he spoke. One moment of showing up as his real self, and respect followed. What's your poetry? What's the part of you you've been hiding because you're scared it won't land? Raise your hand if you know what it is. Come on, hands up. All right, you've got it in your head. Now let's bring it to life. Try this once, share that piece of you. Maybe it's your art, your opinion, your passion. Share it with one person, one room, one moment. Do it today. Watch how they look at you, not with judgment, but with respect. Because when you show up unapologetically, you're not just asking to be seen, you're demanding it. You've owned your power, you've shown up unapologetically, raw, real, and fearless. People are starting to respect you, looking at you differently, listening when you speak. But here's the hard truth. Respect isn't a one and done deal. It's not enough to have a single bold moment and expect it to last forever. You've got to make it stick. You've got to live in a way that keeps that respect locked in, day after day, through every pushback, every doubt, every temptation to shrink back. Try this once, commit to habits that make respect permanent, and watch how your life transforms. Raise your hand if you've ever felt like you finally stood up for yourself, only to slip back into old patterns a week later. Come on, hands up. Yeah, I see you. That's the trap. You have that one shining moment where you feel unstoppable, but then life creeps in, critics, setbacks, your own insecurities, and you start to fade. You let someone cross a boundary, you stay quiet when you should speak, you dim your light to keep the peace. Stop it. You didn't come this far to lose what you've earned. Respect sticks when you turn those bold moments into a way of life. Think about Aisha. She was a project coordinator, always overlooked, until she started speaking up in meetings, setting boundaries, being her unfiltered self. Her team noticed, her boss gave her bigger projects, her colleagues stopped interrupting her, but a few weeks later, a new manager came in, dismissive and controlling. Aisha felt that old urge to shrink, to play nice, to avoid conflict. Instead, she doubled down. She kept her voice firm, her boundaries clear. When the manager tried to steamroll her in a meeting, she looked him in the eye and said, "I hear you, but my approach has worked, and here's why we should stick with it." Calm, confident, no apologies. He backed off. Aisha didn't just keep the respect she'd earned, she built on it. Why? Because she made it a habit, not a one-off. How do you make respect stick? It's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. You've got to show up, day after day, as the person who demands respect. Not by shouting or fighting, but by living your truth, holding your ground, and refusing to let anyone make you small. Try this once, pick one habit today that reinforces your power. Maybe it's starting every morning by saying, "I'm worth it." Maybe it's walking away from one toxic conversation. Whatever it is, do it daily. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, commit to it. That's how you turn a moment into a lifestyle. But let's be real, consistency is hard. Life throws curveballs. People push back, your own doubts creep in, whispering, "Who do you think you are?" That's why you need rituals, small, daily actions that keep you grounded in your power. Here's a story to show you what I mean. Jamal was a chef, finally earning respect in a cutthroat kitchen after years of being dismissed. He'd started speaking up, sharing his ideas, owning his space, but the pressure was relentless. Long hours, demanding customers, a boss who'd test his limits. Jamal could have slipped back into being the yes man. Instead, he created a ritual. Every morning, before his shift, he'd stand in front of the mirror, look himself in the eye and say, "You're a damn good chef, and you belong here." It wasn't fancy, but it was his anchor. On tough days, that ritual reminded him who he was. His confidence stayed rock solid, and so did the respect he'd earned. What's your ritual going to be? Raise your hand if you can think of one small thing you could do every day to stay in your power. Come on, hands up. All right, you've got something in mind. Maybe it's writing down one thing you're proud of each night. Maybe it's a power pose before a big meeting. Whatever it is, make it yours. Try this once, start it today. Do it for 1 week, and watch how it changes you. You're not just building a habit, you're building a new you. But habits alone aren't enough. You've got to handle the pushback, because it's coming. When you start demanding respect, some people won't like it. They're used to the old you, the quiet, agreeable, do what you're told you. Your boldness threatens them. That's okay. Respect isn't about making everyone happy, it's about standing firm. Here's how you do it. When someone pushes back, maybe they question your decision. Maybe they try to guilt you, don't shrink. Look them in the eye and say, I understand your perspective, but this is where I stand. No drama, no apologies, just truth. That's how you keep respect. Let's go back to Aisha. That new manager didn't just push back once, he kept testing her, nitpicking her work, trying to undermine her. Aisha didn't let it slide. Every time he overstepped, she responded, calmly, firmly, consistently. That's not how I see it, and here's why. I'm confident in my approach. Over time, he stopped challenging her. Why? Because Aisha wasn't just reacting, she was living her power. She made respect non-negotiable. You can do that too. Try this once, prepare for pushback. Think of one person who's likely to test you. Maybe a coworker, a family member, a friend. Write down what they might say and how you'll respond. Maybe they'll say, you're being too sensitive. You'll say, I'm being clear about what I need. Maybe they'll say, that's not how we do things. You'll say, I'm bringing something new, and it's valuable. Practice it. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Say it out loud. Make it second nature. When the pushback comes, you'll be ready, not just to respond, but to stand tall. Who's with me on this? Raise your hand if you've ever faced pushback, when you tried to stand up for yourself. Come on, hands up. All right, you know that sting, the eye rolls, the snarky comments, the silence. It's not fun, but it's proof you're doing something right. People don't push back against someone who's invisible. They push back against someone who's a force. So lean into it. Every time you handle pushback with confidence, you're not just keeping respect, you're growing it. Let's talk about critics, because they're part of this too. Not just the people in your life, but the voice in your head. You know, the one telling you you're not good enough, you're too much, you'll fail. That voice is your biggest critic, and it's been running the show for too long. Try this once. Talk back to it. Next time that voice starts whispering, you don't belong here, say, I'm here, and I'm staying. Say it out loud, if you have to. Write it down. Make it real. You're not just silencing your critic, you're rewriting your story. Here's a story to bring this home. Lena was a freelance writer, finally getting respect after years of being undervalued. She'd started pitching bold ideas, negotiating higher rates, being her unapologetic self. But every time she sent a pitch, that inner critic would scream, they'll reject you. You're not good enough. It almost stopped her. Then she started a ritual. Before every pitch, she'd write down one thing she loved about her work, her creativity, her grit, her voice. Then she'd say, this is enough. That small act quieted the critic and kept her moving forward. Her clients didn't just respect her, they sought her out. Why? Because Lena wasn't just earning respect, she was living it. What's your critic telling you? Raise your hand if you've got that voice in your head right now, doubting you. Come on, hands up. All right, you're not alone, but you don't have to listen to it. Try this once. Write down one thing you're proud of about yourself, your strength, your ideas, your heart, something real. Then say, this is enough. Say it every day. Make it your shield against the doubts. That's how you keep respect, not just from others, but from yourself. But let's talk about the long game. Making respect stick isn't just about handling pushback or silencing critics. It's about building a life where respect is your default. That means rewriting your narrative. You're not the person who shrinks, who waits, who apologizes for existing. You're the person who shows up, stands firm, and lives unapologetically. Every choice you make, every no, every boundary, every moment you choose yourself, reinforces that narrative. Here's how you do it. Try this once. Create a respect routine. It's a set of daily actions that keep you in your power. Maybe it's 5 minutes every morning to write down your goals. Maybe it's a walk where you remind yourself, I'm worth it. Maybe it's checking in with yourself at the end of the day. Did I show up as me? Did I hold my ground? Make it simple. Make it yours. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, start it today. Do it for 30 days, and watch how it rewires you. You're not just keeping respect, you're becoming someone who commands it naturally. Let's go back to Jamal, the chef. His morning mirror ritual wasn't enough on its own. He built a routine. Every day, he'd review his recipes, remind himself why he loved his craft, and set one goal to own his space, like pitching a new dish or calling out a coworker's disrespect. When a line cook tried to undermine him, Jamal didn't flinch. "We don't do that here," he said, calm but firm. His routine kept him grounded, so respect wasn't just a moment, it was his life. His boss promoted him to sous chef. Why? Because Jamal lived like someone who deserved it. You can live like that too. Raise your hand if you're ready to commit to one daily action that keeps respect locked in. Come on, hands up. All right, I love that energy. Grab your phone or a piece of paper. Yes, right now, write down your respect routine. 1 or 2 actions you'll do every day. Maybe it's saying, "I'm enough." Maybe it's setting one boundary. Make it clear. Then, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, start it. Don't wait for tomorrow. Do it now. But let's talk about setbacks, because they'll happen. You'll have days where you slip, where you let someone disrespect you, where you doubt yourself, where you feel small. That's not failure. That's life. The difference is what you do next. Don't beat yourself up. Don't quit. Get back up. Try this once. When you slip, reset in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Say, "That wasn't me, but this is." Then do one thing to reclaim your power. Speak up. Set a boundary. Own your space. Every reset makes you stronger. Here's one more story. Carlos was a teacher finally earning respect after years of being dismissed by students and parents. He'd started being unapologetically himself, cracking jokes, sharing his passion, setting firm boundaries. But one day, a parent chewed him out in front of his class, and he froze. He felt that old shame creep in. Instead of spiraling, he reset. The next day, he pulled the parent aside and said, "We need to talk respectfully, or we don't talk." His voice was steady, his eyes locked. The parent apologized. Carlos didn't just keep his respect, he grew it. Why? Because he didn't let one bad moment define him. What's your reset going to be? Raise your hand if you've ever slipped back into old habits and felt like giving up. Come on, hands up. All right, you know that feeling, but you don't have to stay there. Try this once. Create a reset phrase. Something short, something that pulls you back to your power. Mine's "I'm still here." What's yours? Say it now. "I've got this. I'm not done." Make it yours. Use it when you stumble. It's your lifeline back to respect. This is the life you're building. One where respect isn't something you chase, but something you live. Every habit, every ritual, every reset is a brick in that foundation. You're not just earning respect from others, you're earning it from yourself. And that's the kind that lasts. Try this once. Live like you deserve respect. Every single day. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Commit to it. Not for me, not for them, for you. And that commitment, it's not the end. It's the start of a life where you don't just demand respect, you embody it. Where every step you take, every word you speak, every choice you make, screams, "I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere." That's the legacy you're creating, and it starts right now.